Pehchan. It is a loaded term. What does it mean? Does it mean roles assigned to us? Does it mean an identity that comes out after we have successfully executed the role? To my mind, role of Pehchan is a triumvirate of objective, process, and outcome. Life is a series of interwoven moments, and we continuously participate in it. And our Pehchan continuously emerges out of the roles and responsibilities that we execute successfully. With objective, I mean we start with an inorganic intent. When we start our life, we want to become something. We want to do something. We want to reach somewhere. But once we start participating in this process, we realize that it becomes an organic process. Many things happen to you and you have to participate in it. And that is why Pehchan is also a perpetual process. No matter what happens to you, what setbacks, what failures, you have to continuously be participating in it. And the objective comes out of what happens to you in these roles. Sometimes we succeed, oftentimes we fail. But the good news is, failures do nothing to us. Our identity is made by our successes. You introduced me as the Chief Business Officer of Adani Airport. Who knows and who cares? How many interviews before this one I failed and flunked and I did not make it? But one job interview I made, I'm here in front of you being introduced as Chief Business Officer Adani Airports. Failures are turned inside and put in our hearts and minds. They do nothing to our Pehchan, but they serve as good reference materials. Our Pehchan emerges in some of the very critical inflection points in our lives. What we do during those inflection points, they give us our identity. I'm going to share with you a couple of incidents which were very huge inflection points in my life. And as I told you, today we are talking about these incidents because it resulted into some success. Failures are forgotten. Don't worry about them. I was studying in a Hindi medium school. I passed my 10th standard from a Hindi medium school. And somehow living in a decrepit mohalla of Patna, I had this idea that education was the golden passport to success. And we were told that because we did not know how to speak English, perhaps the height that we would rise to was circumspect. Because English was important to rise. And once I was coming into my senses, passing out my high school, I decided that I would pursue an English medium education. We did not have so much money, but I had decided that I would not go to college, I would rather go to a school, read while I study. I would also hone my linguistic skills. I was studying in Patna and there was a school in Bokaro, which was an English medium school ICSE curriculum. My cousin was working with Bokaro Steel City and I requested him if I could get an admission there. He was kind enough to get me there. He took me to the principal, who was an Australian father, and our vice principal of the senior secondary school. She was a sister from UK, studied at Oxford University. They met me, they talked to me, and they rejected me. They said, till standard 10th you have studied in Hindi medium school, and in our school people study English medium from nursery. No matter what we did not agree. I came back to Patna, but then decided to write 11 foolscap pages letters, one each to the principal, the Australian father, and to the vice principal, the English sister. And I wrote in that letter that if you would believe, I have not taken any help from anybody, and whatever I have written, that letter in English was my own expression. And if it convinces you that my English proficiency is good enough, you may give me a chance. and the magic happened. I got a letter from the school saying that we are ready to take you on a week's trial. If you are then seen to be managing your course, you would then process your admission. I went there, I attended my classes for 1 week, they gave me tests, I took those tests, I passed them, and here I am. I can speak English today. I'm very happy. The second inflection point happened in my life. Went from Patna, I joined the largest newspaper house in this country and joined them in Mumbai. Because when you come from small towns, small places, you generally are considered to be carrying a lot of handicaps. And people generally doubt your capability and intent. So this was now somewhere in 1997, and my boss then, we had started working on a project. It was a shipping directory in 1997. This was the first time, and we were facing lots of hitches on the way. My boss once asked me, what do you think, will this project see the light of the day? And innocent me, I said I have my doubts. And he took it upon himself. He finished the project. The ET shipping directory was published. But he told me that since you had a doubt, I will not give you your name credit in this edition. I took that in my stride. And next year, when again, because it was an annual publication, the next edition was going to be planned, I volunteered myself to him. I said, could I help this project this year? And he said yes. And in one stroke from one client, I raised double the amount that last project had raised, and we ended up doing 400% more revenue. Some of these inflection points, they give you these identities, confidence. And the last incident that I want to tell you was as a very young, not young, middle-aged manager in year 2000. We had gone to this global bank, which is the apex body of agricultural financing and rural development financing in India. And we were trying to publish an agriculture journal, and we wanted sponsorship from them, a meager amount of 48 lakhs rupees per annum. The chairman, he invited us to meet him, and he was very surprised to see two very young people in front of him. He thought it was the largest newspaper group, so some very senior editors, etc. would turn up. But I turned up, and I had a colleague. Last I know, he was a big shot with the leading telecom player in India. If he's listening to me, he will identify himself. The chairman told us that he had no power to sanction that kind of money. But that money was not a substantial amount for this apex bank. But he said that why he called us, that there was a management committee meeting which was going to take place. And he would get us a window of 5 minutes with this management committee, which comprised Dr. Amrita Patel, who was then chairman of NEDB, the executive directors of NABARD, who are all PhDs in economics. They were senior officers from RBI. And he said that we would give you 5 minutes to impress them. If they were impressed, your 48 lakhs rupees would happen like this. We were asked to wait while the management committee meeting was underway. We were very young. My friend got very scared. He asked me, sir, what do we do? I told him that if we run away, the project does not happen. If we face them and fail, the project does not happen. But what if? And to our surprise, they gave us 5 minutes, and when we started speaking, they heard us for 45 minutes. And at the end of these 45 minutes, the last question that they asked was, agriculture magazine and in English. And I told him that this magazine was only to the B2B community of agriculture. It was not targeted at the farmers. And I asked them that when you were conducting your business here, which pertains to agriculture and rural development, you speak in English, right? And that was the final nail on the coffin, and they agreed. And I got my sponsorship. What I want to tell you, that this Pehchan, the successes, and I have said again and again, I'm telling you, don't mind the failures. They do nothing. We must participate in this process, however. We must not be very useless, though they say that no matter how bad you become, you will still are useful. You will serve as a good example. And somebody will say that he's so bad, don't be like him. So I just want to tell you this lastly, कि पहचान बाहरी स्तर पर हमें परिचय देती है, पर आंतरिक स्तर पर हमें आत्मविश्वास देती है। और आत्मविश्वास ये नहीं है कि वे मुझे पसंद करेंगे, बल्कि आत्मविश्वास ये है कि मैं तब भी खुश रहूंगा, प्रयत्नशील रहूंगा, जबकि वे मुझे पसंद नहीं करेंगे।